Extra Butter. It is our half-hour special dedicated to all things scary, specifically Hollywood Horror Nights at Universal Studios. None gets better than the movie Us. How are you, Madison Curry?
Good, how are you?
Good to see you.
Yeah.
All right, I loved Us more than anything, but at the time I'm watching it, I'm thinking, that young lady, Madison Curry, probably shouldn't go see this movie. Have you seen it?
Yes.
Aren't you too young to see it?
It's rated R, but you have to go with a parent to see it, and you have to be over the age of 5.
This would be a good guide then. So if we want to prepare parents to take kids to movies like Us, how did your parents prepare you for it?
Just say it's going to be scary, so be prepared.
What are you people?
It's us. Don't be crying to me and coming to my bed tonight.
So you play the young Lupita? Have you hung out with Lupita?
Yeah, she's actually a pretty fun girl.
Did you study her to play the younger version of her, or did she study you to play the older version of you?
It's a win-win.
It is awesome to see you. Thanks for hanging out.
See you too.
Nice job in your movie.
Thank you.
All right, you were phenomenal in that. All right, so of course, Us is the masterwork of Jordan Peele, but it all started with another movie he did, and we talked about that. Take a look.
Good to see you, man.
Good to see you, man.
We have some history we should probably talk about.
All right.
So when I interviewed you for the movie Keanu, I thought it would be great to do it in a cat sanctuary.
Yes.
And I was holding a cat, and the moment I started speaking, the cat splattered on the ground and ran
That's
off.
right.
Do you remember
That's
that?
right. I do remember
Have
that.
you forgiven me?
I've forgiven you. You know, whoever set that up didn't really double check whether or not I was allergic to cats.
Yeah, how'd that work out?
You know, it was okay. When I had Keanu in my hands, it was fine. It's just one. I could put him down. In the
Right.
cat sanctuary, I almost died.
Well, what about signing up to do a film about a cat?
Yeah, that was in writing one. You'd think I would have thought that through.
Right.
But it just goes, just like this movie, you know, writing a movie, you don't think like, I'm such a fan, you don't think someone's actually going to make your movie.
Right.
So you just write something with the passion, you write something with your favorite movie that you've never seen, and hopefully, you know, somebody picks it up, and you know, with Get Out, it was definitely a movie I didn't think anyone was ever going to make. And
I was going to ask, with that said, are you allergic to scary movies, or are you a huge fan of this product?
I am, you know, when I was a kid, I was as terrified of scary movies as anyone could be. I was very scared of the dark till like 12.
Yeah.
Just a complete coward. At some point, a switch flip, and I was like, you know, anything that can affect me that much is art. Is masterful. And so from that point on, I've respected horror as an art form, and you know, there's a handful of really great additions to horror a year, and so I wanted to take a stab.
God, I love that movie. Get Out and Us, a great double feature, both awesome. Speaking of awesome, how awesome is that? I wish at one point in my life I had that much confidence. When I was that age, or any age, you're crushing it. I don't want to interrupt her. Look at another interview. Sorry, lady. She is crushing it. All right, when we come back, other stars, the big screen and small, headed away. All things horror. What is your favorite horror movie? Is it The Exorcist? Is it Halloween? We'll celebrate them all next.
Klaus wants in. We have to keep him out.
I feel severely underdressed.
No, I'm compensating. You don't have to wear anything, and everybody goes, nice everything.
Yeah.
Congrats on your life, man.
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Talk about the first time you were recognized for Vampire Diaries, the first time horror creeped into your life.
What the hell do you want?
Now, is that any way to treat a guest?
What are you doing here, Klaus?
The first time I was recognized for Vampire Diaries, I was at Comic-Con in San Diego, and it was, I'd been in 4 episodes. That's all that had aired. And I was there with Ian Somerhalder and Paul Wesley, you know, the stars of Vampire Diaries. And we went into the hotel and they got swarmed by fans. All these fans in the lobby ran over and they were crazy and they were taking photos with them. And I sort of stood off to the side going, oh my God, what have I got into? And this one guy, he looked at me and he went, you know what? It. I'll get a picture with Klaus. And I was like, oh, thanks, man. So that was it.
When you look back on it, what's your favorite episode?
Of Vampire Diaries? Probably the 3rd episode of season 3 where they go back to 1920s Chicago and we get to see that kind of vibe for Klaus, because I loved that era, and it was the one that introduced my sister Rebecca. It was a really cool episode.
Hey, welcome back to Universal Studios Hollywood Horror Nights and our half-hour special dedicated to all things scary here on Extra Butter. Speaking of scary, sorry, Slash's people just told me to hold it down. Sorry, Slash. Slash doing a very important interview right now. All right, back to here. Why is Slash here? Because he has a maze inside of the Universal Studios attraction. What's cool about it, more square footage, more maze than any other place in the world. So if you want to find horror in real life and some of your things that were previously created by computer generation brought to life, you're going to see it here at Universal Studios Hollywood. My favorite of all the mazes, my favorite of all the shows, Stranger Things. Elements from season 1, 2, and 3 in there. Speaking of season 3, you know the crazy Russians, you know the Arnold Schwarzenegger of season 3, Andre Apetico, the tall guy that has the huge fight with David at the end. Yeah, I caught up with him moments on the red carpet. Take a look. Stranger Things 3. I live, eat, and breathe Stranger Things. It's so funny. I've met some of my idols, yet I've never been so nervous right now because my show is being represented. Stranger Things is amazing. Were you an amazing fan before you jumped aboard?
Yeah, I was watching Stranger Things from season 1, so I knew what's going on, and I was a fan of the show, definitely, yeah.
Has your life changed since the episode started airing from season 3?
Yeah, it did. I mean, it was a little bit overwhelming with all this like recognition and people stopping at the street and asking to take a picture or sign autographs, and social media was blowing up like crazy as well. But yeah, it's changed, but in a good way.
I'm sure you have access, but like the rest of us, did you binge watch the moment they all came up?
Yeah, I like the first season. I probably watch in a day, and the second season I probably watch in 2 days. So yeah. And I had access to the third season before it was released. So yeah, I watched it in there because they gave me they kind of like released for us like in 2 parts. So I was watching like 4 episodes in 1 day and the 4 episodes in 1 day. So yeah.
What's your favorite moment from season 3?
That's a tough question.
Okay, what was the hardest day on the set?
Oh, I can tell you that. It was the final battle with me and David.
Oh, yeah.
The fight on the Russian base. We shoot for 3 days, 12, 13 hours a day, just one fight. So it was tough on both of us, physically, mentally, but...
Did you wake up the next day going, landed that wrong?
Not even next day. Like after we're done each day, after we wrapped, and I come to the hotel, I mean, my body was bruised and black and blue, and I was like, oh. So I have to apply Bengay, because I knew the next day will be the same stuff. So, but we wanted to do it, and we wanted to do it in a good way. So. For audience to be really happy and for the fight to look really real. So I hope we achieve it.
Oh, it looked amazing. Some of the greatest cinema ever. Good to see you, pal. Thanks for your time. That guy's awesome. Always a little intimidating to talk to people that you know that even with their pinky could snap your neck in half. Speaking of Stranger Things, Finn Wolfhard just came down the red carpet inside. I just got through talking to him about his movie that is crushing it in all ways horror, that of course being It Too. I love the fact that I had a chance to talk to him before he was famous for that. And this, take a look.
What's exciting is that I've seen the movie and you haven't. Like, that rarely happens.
You call it epic. So it's
Yeah. You guys should be interviewing me. Want to know what happens?
So what did you think? Epic.
With that said, how much of the script did you get?
No, we got the whole script. We just we haven't seen it.
This isn't no end game. It's not that epic.
No, okay, all right. I didn't know if they just gave you pages at a time.
Yeah, it's not something. We get the final page tonight.
All right, then what scene are you most looking forward to audiences witnessing that you're in?
Oh man, I'm excited to see.
Let's see a spider scene. I keep talking.
I have a pretty cool scene.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I can't really tell you. I mean, you saw it.
Yeah. See, it is like in game. There are plot spoils.
That's true.
See?
That's true. That was an interesting experience. So can't really say anything about it.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about.
He has a scene where he does his thing with the thing and all that good stuff.
I'm
excited
to see it. Yeah, it's epic thing. I'm excited to see Bill Hader, honestly, as May, because I haven't seen it. I'm excited to see all the older losers.
So, well, let's talk about the first time each of you met your middle-aged counterpart.
Yeah.
Very cool. We attempted to do a speed dating thing where we all met each other and tried to speed date our older versions, but it didn't work out, so we ended up just talking to our older versions, and they're really cool guys, and
it's kind of weird being a young actor and they're looking at your role as homework.
Right.
Which is kind of funny because it's like, oh, you guys are amazing. So,
yeah.
really awesome.
Man, if it worked out and Bill Hader was a pretty good snapshot of who you became, how would that be?
I'd be pretty happy. But Bill just got a divorce, so...
Well, you know, you never know. All right, except for all of that stuff. How about, do you have any, your character becomes a stand-up comic, and I'm thinking that would work out for you.
That would be fun.
That was funny.
I mean, yeah,
You're
I'm
right.
not... Yeah, I probably wouldn't do well as a stand-up, but yeah, doing comedy stuff would be pretty epic.
When you found out Bill was your guy, how'd you feel?
Really happy. I was so happy. I wanted... Like, I really, he's one of my big heroes, so I was really excited.
Is there one word that would describe that moment?
Fun, huh?
I think epic would even be better.
Epic would be better, yeah.
I love that you're taking over the interview because it all of a sudden it got better.
Yeah,
you got started shining. It started popping.
Yeah.
Here, ask him a question. Help round out this interview. No, you're doing your own role. Give him one.
All right.
Jason, give me an epic question.
Okay, an epic question for you.
Yeah.
So what was it like, your relationship with Andy Bean? How can you describe that?
Andy Bean is the worst, man.
Yes.
No, Andy Bean is a very good human, and if I turned out to be like him, I would be pretty satisfied. I think I'd want a little more. No,
more.
No,
More what?
I don't know.
Chest muscles?
Yeah. No, he's great. I mean, he like looks scarily like me. Like you don't really see it at first, but it really gets there. And yeah, I think he's pretty epic and amazing. So.
Well, you are epic and amazing.
Thank
you are
you.
epic and amazing, as are you.
You are
Thank
epic
you
and
so
amazing.
much.
Thank you. That was
Thank you.
good.
What I love about, after he said that about the Bill Hader divorce, a publicist followed me out and said, "Are you going to run that?" And I said, "Can I not run that?" And she said, "Yeah, if you have to, you have to." So I thought I would let, kids say the darndest things, even if they're Stranger Things kids. Hey, coming up in a moment, not exactly a kid, but it was a big part of my childhood, Dan Aykroyd on the red carpet as our extra butter, all things scary, Ghostbusters, and then some continues. I'm going to throw at you something you probably get each and every day. Stripes, Meatballs, Ghostbusters. These are the movies that formed my life. I based my whole life on their teachings.
I'm so sorry. Well,
how does it make you feel knowing that you really have shaped generations?
Well, it's really gratifying, and it really gets to me emotionally. I feel I'm really lucky. I was lucky to tell these good stories that people sort of seem to still remember and still want to go see and allow me to make others. And I'm really lucky because I have wonderful children, that are kind of carrying on this tradition.
Sure. Jason and Catherine crushing it.
Yes, that's right. Jason's right now in Calgary, Alberta, directing the new Ghostbusters. I'm heading back up there tomorrow, and I've been on the set with him, most of the last 2 months, and he's doing an extraordinary job.
Well, congrats on the great kids and the great movies.
Got your stick? Hold! Beat 'em up! Smoke! Make 'em hard! Ready!
Hey, welcome back to our half-hour special dedicated to all things scary at Hollywood Horror Nights. And talking about scary and funny at the same time. It almost sounded
Scary and funny. That's true.
How
That's
are you?
accurate.
Nice to see you. Congrats on everything.
Oh, thank you, sir.
New Ghostbusters coming out.
I know, great script, good story, beautiful, heartfelt transfer from the old generation to the new. It's going to be great.
A lot of people would say, what took the original team so long?
Well, everybody was busy, Billy was busy doing stuff. I was busy. Ivan was busy. We were just we had, different things going on in our lives. And, it's hard to pull, 5, 6 disparate elements like that together sometimes.
Without spoiling, what can we expect?
Oh, lovely, heartfelt story with a lot of scares, a lot of thrills, and a lot of laughs, and a great new generation.
Fans from the original?
We'll love it. Yeah, fans from the original will love it. We'll love it, yeah.
Outstanding. Last time I talked to you, it's so wild. As I talked to you, I keep going back to that day. Last time I talked to you, we were on the deck of the Stennis in Pearl Harbor. 90 tons of steel in Pearl Harbor because of a movie you're attached to.
Well, it makes me feel good. It makes me feel good that we have such weaponry to go around the world and take on the big causes. It makes me feel less afraid. This was the only place, obviously, where this could take place because of the location. Where else could you have a premiere about Pearl Harbor than in the actual waters where the attack took place? I hope that the survivors appreciate the diligence the filmmakers took in trying to accurately depict this story.
So amazing. The Jerry Bruckheimer production, Pearl Harbor. planes flying over that night. Remember that they had a Passover of the Warhawks and the Kitty Hawk planes, the P-40s. And we were right there where the attack took place. It was very moving, exciting.
Goes back to that night a lot. What goes back to your mind when you think about those days of making the original Ghostbusters? What was it like?
Just driving around New York City in that old Cadillac, man, and people not knowing what it was and slinging it around corners. And yeah, it was really the best.
I think about trying to close a set. How could you make that movie at that time when you couldn't walk 3 feet without people yelling something when you're trademarked?
Yeah, no way. We used them. We used the people. Yeah, we used the crowds.
I know you got to go. It would be an honor to me if you say, "Mark, you ignorant slut," as you make your exit.
Mark, you ignorant slut.
Thank you very much. Dan
Crazy
Aykroyd.
piece of slunk meat.
Dan Aykroyd, ladies and gentlemen. I promised I wasn't going to cry, but I'm crying now. When we come back on Extra Butter, we'll segue out of the funny and back to the very, very scary. What movie scared you most? Made you change your pants? I'll tell you about mine, and you'll meet my favorite star, Jamie Lee Curtis, next.
He's waited for me. I've waited for him.
Get out of the room! Get inside!
All right, so people always ask me, who is the kindest female star you've ever talked to? And in a quarter century of doing this, it's always you. No, you!
My mother!
Well, I haven't talked to your mom. I just talked to you.
I just drove up her street.
Oh, you did?
And my dad's. I made a left on Janet Leigh and made a right on Tony Curtis.
So I was there when we dedicated the square, and you promised you would come back. I love that you honored that.
Of course.
And speaking of coming back, I'm in Toronto less than a week ago. I'm watching a midnight movie, and I said, there's no way in hell Jamie Lee's going to stay for the end of this. And at 2 o'clock in the morning, you come out on stage.
I haven't been up that late since 1976.
But you were the spryest person on stage.
I was spry.
What should we look forward to at the new Halloween? What are you most proud of?
Intense. It's intense, and it's beautiful.
Hey, welcome back to Extra Butter. Before we wrap things up, we have to go in some of these mazes here at Universal Studios Hollywood Horror Nights. Look, it's the Ghostmobile. It's the firehouse. It's where the Ghostbusters hang out. We just had Dan Aykroyd on, so we had to drop by. Look at this, 30,000 people in line. What are you most excited about?
Everything. Yeah, it's all amazing. So
clearly Ghostbusters not one of the more scary movies. What's your favorite scary movie?
Pet Cemetery.
How about you?
Probably Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Yeah, how about you?
Yeah, The Exorcist.
Oh, Exorcist, Linda Blair. One of my favorite moments of all time. I talked to her about that. Take a look.
What an excellent day for an exorcism. The night the devil. You know what she did?
Hey, it's great to see you.
Nice to see you, Mark. Thank you.
Now, I've always wanted to ask you, was it an insult to you throughout your life when people would come up and say, I had so many nightmares and you were in them? How do you take that?
I suppose in the beginning, it was certainly, it was like, okay. I never knew how to answer them. But as years went on, I guess I've just gotten so used to it. I just sit and I go, uh-huh. I'm not the one responsible for writing the novel. I didn't direct the film. Sure. I didn't create it. I mean, I was a part of it, but people feel very compelled to tell me their story, so I feel very responsible to listen.
Well, do creepy people come out of the woodwork and say, I was possessed once. Can I tell you about it? Anybody like that?
Not too much. Once in a while, you'll meet somebody that you're a little concerned for.
Right. And then if you meet them again, you get a restraining order against them, and hopefully it takes care of it.
Yeah, well, we haven't had to go there.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully with the re-release, that's not going to happen,
I
too.
don't think so.
What was a typical workday like for you, especially during the heavy possession scenes?
Probably
Makeup?
getting up at 5, being there at 6. Dick Smith, our fantastic makeup artist, he learned to put a TV in back of me on a shelf, and so I could watch in the mirror, because it was very difficult to sit there day in and day out for so many hours. And then we would, rehearse lighting and so forth. I might go to school, I might come back. I mean, my school was in my dressing room. Long hours, just a lot of technical. We may have to test another piece of equipment.
The day you shot the scene where he said, the devil says, you want to say something to your mom? She's in here with me, and then suddenly what was that? What spewed from your mouth?
Oh, pea soup.
It was pea soup.
Yeah, we have some here for you.
I was misinformed. I was told it was cream of broccoli. Was I misinformed?
Oh, well, kind of, but that's okay. I'm sure it's good.
Well, so maybe we can have some after this.
All right, from Linda Blair to something totally different. We're actually in the maze. Look, the receptionist. Janine, the Ghostbusters receptionist. I know you. Oh, this is awesome, you guys. I don't know if you can see me. Just come this way. Follow me. Thanks, nice lady. Bye. That has nothing to do with Ghostbusters. Stay with me. Oh, finally, look, we caught up with other people. We caught up with another group. He slimed me. All right, you guys, want to go behind the scenes and through all the mazes and catch all of our interviews? Just follow Extra Butter on YouTube, like you already do. Thanks for hanging out with us. Have an awesome rest of your life. Let's go. Slimer!